in last season's third kit tonight. Stuart's very good on fashion. I'd say it's probably a lime colour, Stuart.
One thing for sure, you're not very good on fashion. Big night for Casado in that midfield area. Back in the side tonight after that long injury. And a good start to last season. Always feel as though he just lacks that extra bit of pace, particularly defensively, to be an outstanding player.
Well, interestingly, Casado is the starter in midfield. Gavi is still watching from the sidelines. Pedri is a constant, only missed one game in all of Barcelona's 60 last season. Lamine Yamal makes it look so easy, doesn't he? Balde. Rashford checks himself onside. Casado puts it into the danger area, but good, solid, organised defending.
Yeah, Manu Sanchez did well there, just a step across the run of that man there, Eric Garcia. Casado looking for that diagonal ball. Eric Garcia getting another chance to prove himself at right back in place of Koundé. I think last week's attack on the players was probably tongue-in-cheek, just to give them a little bit of a rocket. They won the game easily. Understand what the players were going to play at a slightly lesser tempo when they were already 2-0 up and against 9 men.
There's Ivan Romero. Fuente, Barcelona's defence has gone AWOL. Big chance. Moreno sticks it home as Barcelona wait for the flag. He couldn't believe his luck.
Well, he's probably 2 or 3 yards offside. Here we see it again. He's 2 or 3 yards offside. There we go. There, that is that high line from Barcelona again. Anybody that makes a forward run, they try and catch offside. Already 2 in the first 8 minutes.
He was a rather disjointed offside line, though, wasn't it? Balde, you could see on the near side, was unsure that the other 3 had come out in unison. I know we're preaching to the converted generally, but if you haven't seen Barcelona in a while, they have this unique offside trap, which generally starts around the halfway line. Rashford having a ball on this left-hand side. Now Balde. Anywhere will do for Al Getaban.
Good initial run from that man there, Marcus Rashford. Little nutmeg. Just couldn't see the next pass. But that will do his confidence the world of good.
Well, Barcelona have travelled well. Going back to last season, they've won the last 8 away games in succession. They actually had a better away record than a home record last season. Lamine Yamal. Pass 1, pass 2, pass 3. It was the 4th man that stopped him, Pablo Martinez.
Caballero was the player that just did enough to stop him getting to that final ball, but already a couple of good runs from Yamal. No better sight than when Yamal is playing at his best.
They all look the same with their shirts on, the supporters tonight, but the Barcelona socios are grouped by that corner flag. Goalkeeper retreats to his line, leaves it to Romero to head away. All 11 Levante players on defensive duty. Now full steam ahead. Martinez to Cabello. And Joan Garcia, the new keeper, learning the body language of those ahead of him. The undisputed #1 at the club at the moment. I'm sure you know the story that Marc-Andre ter Stegen has picked up an injury. He posted on social media, be out for 3 months. Barcelona insisted that it was 4 months, which is required for him to be struck off the list until Christmas, allowing them to register an extra player. Chesney, who was last year's keeper, is one of those in limbo waiting to be registered. Pedri. Eric Garcia selling Rafinha a little short. Casano toe-to-toe with Oriol Rey. Looks offside again. He's teasing us, this assistant referee on this near side of the field. He has been right on every occasion.
And it's no good Morales throwing his arms up in the air. He's got to time his runs. Wait for the ball to be played in there. Don't make your run before the ball's played. You know where it's going to go. Get yourself on the half turn, get ready for it, and then make the run.
Pedri. Balde. Rashford. Neither a cross nor a shot.
Yeah, I think he was expecting Rafinha to make a run into the box. Rafinha just put his arm up, apologised.
Marcus Rashford trying to rebuild his career in Spain. Of course, last year he headed to Aston Villa, but didn't actually go 90 minutes in any of the Premier League games. For Villa. Feet. That was back in well, it has been coming. Barcelona have been taking risks in defence, and Levante cracked the code.
Well, they're never going to change the way they defend under Hansi Flick. But Levante have done their homework.
Lamine up against Manu Sanchez. Garcia. Finely threaded pass. Ferran Torres comes alive. Ray clears the ball. Julian Calero, under no illusions, the Levante coach. He said he expects Barcelona to have 70% possession. It's what they do with the few opportunities they get tonight, which is going to count for Levante. Also says the supporters, the collective 12th man, are so important to any success. Lamine Casado, Kubasi, ball there to Rashford. He's become an instant local hero, this man, Manu Sanchez, on loan from Celta for the season. Another one of the experienced players that they have brought in. They made 9 signings in the summer upon their promotion. Casado, Eric Garcia, Yamal. Manu Sanchez winning that particular battle at the moment.
He's just got to be a bit careful. He's trying to dive in quite early. He's getting himself squared on. If Yamal just lifts the ball over that trailing leg, he's in. He's been a bit lucky on a couple of occasions. Manu Sanchez, he's taken a gamble. It's paid off for him.
Balde. Pedri. Ferran Torres makes the move and gets the slightest of touches on it, but again, touch-tight defending from Alguizabal.
It was a good ball as well. Nice run from Ferran Torres. And as you said, he's marking on the wrong side, and he does put his arm on the shoulder of Ferran Torres.
Juan Garcia reads it well. He needed to. Very much the modern-day sweeper keeper.
It was offside. The referee just telling everybody he's playing advantage, letting the game flow. Well, I think it's just a hand in the face here. Rafinha's got the ball, he's trying to shield it, he puts his arm out. I don't think he swings it. Here we see it again.
I think Ivan Romero is quite happy to take individually a bit of a break and just disrupt the play a touch as well. The man who gave Levante the lead after a quarter of an hour of this game. Balde. Casado loses out, and the referee giving him the benefit of the doubt, awarding the free kick.
There you saw an example of what I was talking about. Casado is not particularly quick, and Romero rushed him. Got a bit lucky there, I would say. Casado.
Kubasi. Balde. Rashford. Clearly given freedom to go out there and express himself. They lose out again. It's Araujo left in a one-on-one situation with Ivan Romero.
Good to see Araujo back in this Barcelona side, missed a lot of last season with injury. Inigo Martinez and Kabasi were the main centre-halves, formed a great understanding last year. Inigo Martinez left for pastures new.
Yeah, Inigo Martinez leaving at the peak of his powers, accepting an invitation to further his career in Saudi Arabia. So Araujo and Kubasi are the chosen new pairing. Eric Garcia will be their backup. Rafinha. Quarter of the game has gone and Barcelona really need to get Rafinha on the ball, operating in a different position tonight, the creative force in midfield. Pedri. Lamine Yamal. Pedri. Now Yamal only needs a gap, takes a double deflection. He's certainly been their most dangerous source tonight.
Well, there's some good movement off the ball, which just bought him a little bit of time, which he thought he'd get his shot away. A combination of Manu Sanchez and Ray got out there, got a block in.
Yamal. Superbly organised defending from Levante. They were relegated in their last spell in the top flight back in 2022, but even then they had a reputation as giant killers. Beat Barca that season, drew against Atletico and Real Madrid. Pedri, Ferran Torres, Pedri lets it go. Lamine Yamal tries to sweep it past the keeper, hits the back of the head of De La Fuente.
Key player, Pedri. We can talk about the dribbling skills of Yamal, the movement of Rafinha, the finishing ability of Lewandowski when he's playing, and Ferran Torres, but the player that gets everything going is Pedri in central midfield, usually alongside Frankie de Jong. Not tonight.
Here's Balde. Casado looking for the left back, Balde. Rashford. Pedri. I think it would have required a deflection to deceive the goalkeeper. A desperate shot from Pedri.
I think he's actually looking for the run of Rafinha. That's what he's doing. He's trying to blast it in there so that Rafinha could get on the end of it. Just a fraction too heavy.
Kubasi comes to greet them all.
See, the worry for me if I was Hansi Flick, we saw it a little bit last year with Frankie de Jong. The fullbacks push in and high up the field for Barcelona and press the ball. So two centre-halves are also pushing up to the halfway line. And it means that Casado, the central midfield player, at times is running back with Romero, who's very quick. And he becomes the main centre-half, the deepest player. If it becomes a race, Romero will win that.
Stolen by Eric Garcia. Ferran Torres just a little slow to react. If you're just joining us tonight, no Frankie de Jong. He's been away with his new expanded family this week. Lewandowski on the bench. Here's Rashford on his full debut. To Balde. Balde across the face of goal, and a flowing Barcelona move, but without an end product from Ferran Torres.
Good play from Rashford here. It's this touch that takes him infield, which buys the time, or creates the space for Balde to get on the overlap. Fernand Torres tries to get across the front of the defender.
Kubasi. Casado, who has made it into the Barcelona first team against all odds. He made his debut at the start of last season when they were very short of players, and he eventually played in 23 matches in the title-winning season. He's one of those who is believed to be available for sale. If there are any takers out there, Barcelona have to sell to purchase. Every euro spent, there has to be an incoming of a euro. And at the moment, Barcelona have a few spare pegs in the first team changing room. You're around 25 senior players. They have 21, 4 of whom are goalkeepers. Pedri fires it at Rashford. Araujo. Pedri. Good ball, excellent interception from Elguizabal. Cabello. Superb take from Brugge. Kubasi had to stand in his way. Araujo had to mop up.
I don't think the home fans are particularly pleased with the assistant referee. I think he might get in the way here. They also wanted a foul. There we are, the assistant referee.
Rafinha. Yamal. Eric Garcia. Balde spotted the run of Rafinha. Casado. Pablo Campos is just happy to slow the pace of the game down. Black stays down for now. Morales is away. Up against Casado, who's the last man standing. Last man protecting Joan Garcia.
That's what I'm talking about. That time he got back and defended it fairly well, but he'll be left as the last defender on occasions because the two centre-halves are split. They're trying to squeeze up, and anybody that makes the run, he has to go back with him.
Rafinha. Balde. Pedri. Yamal. Pedri caught in possession. This has been a superbly organised performance from Julian Calero's team. He'll be happy to get them to the touchline. He's happy for a rest, the old man Morales.
And there you see he was onside, he was in his own half. Yeah. And there you see the central midfield player, Casado. Really, Morales didn't get his first touch right, which allowed Casado to get back in.
Barcelona a little lucky that it was the 38-year-old who had the freedom of the penalty area. And thankful that Casado, 15 years his junior, chased him every step of the way. All very dignified up in the president's box. The Levante players, or should I say the Levante directors, let it be known today that they are offering a free paella kit to all visiting directors this season. It's an area which is known particularly for its seafood paella.
There's the man that scored the goal. This has been a great, but that's where he's trying to lift it over Manu Sanchez. It's been a good battle. Good touch from Dolian. When he gets the ball here. good composure, little drop of the shoulder, not great defending from Kubasi. Araujo can't get across in time. Why Kubasi's got his arms behind his back when he needs to go and close the ball down, I'm not quite sure. But it's a lovely finish from Romero. Just what they would have wanted after 15 minutes or so. Gives them something to hang on to.
Back in the big league, back with a bang. His first goal in top-flight football for Ivan Romero. Scored 9 in the promotion campaign. This is one of the romantic clubs in Spanish football. They're actually older than their neighbours, Valencia. Club that is known as the Frogs, Les Granotes, because of the thousands of frogs that invade the stadium from the nearby River Turia. But of course, Stuart, you knew that.
I see 1 or 2 toads have got in as well.
There's nothing Newt going on around here. Toljan. To Cabello. Well, Joan Garcia comes wandering off his line. We saw that a lot last season with Chesney. And we don't need to refer to VAR for that one. Brugui was definitely offside.
Well, he wanted the ball played first time. As soon as he had it's a tight one. You see that last defender was coming up. I think it was Eric Garcia. It was much tighter than I first thought. It was offside, but only just.
4 offsides, but the only graphic that matters is 1-0 to Levante. Araujo. Eric Garcia.
I wonder if at some point they don't get too much success, Rafinha and Rashford might just swap positions for 10 minutes or so, because Rafinha's not getting enough space in between the midfield and the defenders of Levante.
Balde. Rashford. Balde comes inside. Rashford, excellent close control. Pedri loses a defender, drops the shoulder, but no strength in the shot.
But what a turn. Just here. Buys himself a lot of space. As you said, no real power in the shot. His weaker left foot.
At the moment, Casado is almost having to play as an extra central defender, bail out the 2 alongside him. And there is Casado. Rafinha driving from deep. Yaman. Garcia takes it on. De La Fuente, a little uncertain. The ball ragged now, the defending of Levante. Buoyed on by the home supporters. Ferran Torres. Rafinha. Excellent ball. Ferran Torres! Here's it crash off the bar as the goalkeeper was very well beaten. Best yet from Barca.
In amongst all that, just watch the pass from Pedri. I think he should score. Look at this pass from Pedri. First time into the space of Ferran Torres, who lets it run across his body. You can see by the movement of the ball, he just slices across it. That's upset Hansi Flick. That should have been the equaliser. What a pass from that man there.
Maybe there was just a little too much thinking time for Ferran Torres, who's a great instinctive finisher. And there's the man he's standing in for, the great Robert Lewandowski. New season, new haircut. I'm sure we'll see him at some point this evening. But they don't want to aggravate a little bit of a hamstring injury that he's picked up in pre-season training. Well, Levante coach did predict 70% possession of Barcelona, 77% so far. Handball, free kick Levante.
But the good thing about Levante, they are posing a threat on the counter-attack. They're making the right sort of runs. They know where the space is.
Torjan. They do look very dangerous every time they attack Levante. Well, they've taken a gamble, committed players forward. Barcelona have extra space.
And that's another way to break Barcelona down, those big diagonals. Torjan didn't make the most of it on that occasion.
Casado. Eric Garcia.
No, he probably wasn't. There was a couple of players that were offside, but not De La Fuente. His run was well timed. The ball was a good one. It's such basic defending from Barcelona.
Balde. Reminder, Real Madrid in action on Sunday, making the journey to Real Oviedo, back in the big league. Catch that 3 o'clock Eastern time in the United States on the all-new ESPN app. This is Kubasi. Referee in the way. Mandatory restart with a drop ball to Barcelona. He's done well, the referee, Senor Hernandez, to keep a low profile so far. Araujo. Eric Garcia. You can sense now the Levante supporters are a little pensive with 2.5 minutes of official time to the break. Balde. Pedri. Rafinha to Casado. Bit of space here for Marcus Rashford. Enters the area with intent. Flashed it across the face of goal. Ivan Romero looking for some kind of help or escape route, and coolly gets himself out of trouble. Now it's tricks and flicks from the newly promoted side.
He's probably going to get himself in trouble, Balde, for that show of petulance. Here we go, there we are. Silly from Balde. Yeah, frustrated, of course he is, but he's put himself under pressure for the rest of the game now.
Yep, that will earn you a booking in any league in the world. The official report will say a show of petulance.
A bit like yourself when the sound's not quite right on our monitors.
Pedri. Balde. Harry Garcia. Rafinha. As we approach half-time, there is a lot of room for improvement from Barcelona. Casado. Balde. Free header. Oh, should have been converted by Rafinha. He'd created the space for himself, and his sole job was to direct it on goal.
Well, they were complaining, Levante. There was a little push in the back on the defender, Cabell. It's off target anyway with the header. It might have been looked at had it gone in. Was there a little shove there? A very slight one. Lovely ball played in by Balde. Good run from Rafinha. Not quite the header he was looking for.
Well, he's a great source of goals last season, Rafinha. He had the season of his life. 34 in all competitions. We are into 3 minutes of stoppage time. Barcelona trying to mix things up, missing out the midfield. Alguizabal, this is De La Fuente. Oh, they had a spare man on the far side of the field.
Oh, if he had a left foot. The crossfield pass was on. Martinez, the player that commits the foul. But there was a crossfield pass that was on, as you mentioned in your commentary. Barcelona were holding a line almost on the halfway line.
I mentioned it because you were pointing frantically over there. It's what the viewers can't see. And clearly the midfielder got neither.
He could see it, he just couldn't get it out there.
Alguizabal trying to keep that defence organised for the next 90 seconds for Levante. Hanging on to this one-goal lead from Ivan Romero. Rafinha pings it in. Araujo gets no direction on his header. Pablo Martinez clears the ball. Pedri. Superb take from Lamine Yamal. Was he sent on his way with a foul? The referee took the advice of his assistant on the far side, and the skipper of Levante is cautioned.
Well, never mind. Martinez. Yeah, never mind whether it's a foul or not. What about the pass from Pedri and the touch from Yamal? Exquisite. I think Martinez. No, he does catch him in the end.
Yeah, he got him with a trailing foot, didn't he?
Yeah, it's the right decision by the referee. And it's a good job he made the foul outside the box.
The lady on the second row disagreed, but the referee and assistant were in unison. Now Pablo Martinez has to watch his step for the rest of the game. One final first half test for this superbly organised Levante defence. He can hardly blink, can he, Rafinha? His eyes are darting around the penalty area. Who is he going to find with his laser-like pass? Rafinha dunks it in. Campos boxes it away. Lamine Yamal miscontrols. Levante find the escape route. Romero is away. They're seeking a second before half-time. Brugge is through. Chance for a second. Brugge is stopped brilliantly by Balde, but the stages still won't go away, and Barcelona are hanging on by their fingernails.
Great excitement here. Free kick for Barcelona. Yamal loses it on the edge of the box. They see the chance of a counter-attack. Casado misses the tackle. It's only Pedri that misses the tackle. Look at the pace of Balde to get back. Still a chance for Morales. He gets a double block in. Balde gets himself back on his feet. Morales, I thought, was going to bend it into the far corner. Superb stuff here.
Who would be a football manager? It's not good for your health. Well, as they're coming together there, Araujo and Martinez. Is saying to Senor Hernandez, hold on, we need to have a look at this.
Well, I think this is a 50-50 call. It could go either way. You couldn't say his arms were away from his body, but it does stop the shot going on target. I think it would have gone to the goalkeeper, but that makes no difference. This is a big call by the VAR. I don't think he'll make the decision by himself. He will tell the referee one way or the other whether to look at the screen or not.
Well, the referee clearly thought that play should continue, but generally, when they head towards the touchline monitor, it means that they're about to suggest they could be overruled.
As soon as that stops a shot going on target, there's always going to be danger for the defending player. His arm is tucked in there, but he's turned his body so it stops the ball going goalwards. It certainly wouldn't have hit his body.
Well, no doubt that it hit his arm. In his defence, he felt that his arm was within the framework of his body, but the referee has taken the advice and he has gifted Levante a penalty. It will be the last kick of the first half. Barca drama.
Well, we were saying it was exciting. It's just doubled the excitement. Now the penalty's been given. What a big moment this is. Right before half-time, can Levante make it 2-0?
The coolest head is that of Jose Luis Morales. 38 years of age, even older than Robert Lewandowski. Morales, the oldest winger in town, does it again. Go nowhere. We have a shock on the cards here at the Estadio Ciudad de Valencia. The champions are trailing by 2-0.
Well, you said it. Cool, calm, composed. Garcia, I think, was going to stand up for as long as he could. He thought he might go down the middle, and he just strokes it one side of him. Made it look very easy, didn't he? What a second half we've got in store. What a first half we've had. Here it is again.
Well, if you're of Barcelona persuasion, you'll be saying that should never have been given. Support any of the team, you'll be saying it was a clear penalty. And Morales, as he stood up, cool, calculated, confident, sweeping it in for a second. They'll be hoping here that time can stand still. Incredible scenes in Levante. Barcelona, Stuart, have to make a big comeback.
I think they've got to get a goal fairly quickly in the second half. They might have to make one or two changes. Lewandowski might have to come on because Ferran Torres hasn't played particularly well. And I'd also look at the right back. Can they get Koundé on for Garcia, Eric Garcia, and make things happen down that right-hand side?
Well, Hansi Flick has 15 minutes to change the course of history. This could be a famous night for Levante at half-time. Their leading goals are Romero and Morales. 2-0 at half-time.
Some players seem to defy the odds. Millions of data points, including shot angle, defender positioning, and distance from goal to reveal the exact
on him. It's a crossbar now. Still 1-0.
Hansi Flick did not like that. Chance here for Levante to make it 2. Adrian de la Fuente heading it wide.
Barcelona looking for an offside that wasn't there. It's a free header. People raising their arms. At some point, somebody's got to stay with runners.
Barcelona go again in search of that equaliser. Balde with the cross in. Rafinha heading it wide this time.
Rafinha creates space for himself with a little push on the back of the defender, but not enough with the header. Still 1-0.
And now what's to follow comes from a Barcelona free kick. Levante are going to break here.
It goes from a set-piece opportunity for Barcelona. Lamine Yamal loses it in a bad area. Pedri doesn't make the challenge. The bounce goes Levante's way. And then on the turn, Alejandro Balde, is that a handball? It's right alongside his body. Is that a handball? Is he making himself bigger? Is his body silhouette bigger? Apparently so, according to Alejandro Hernandez, who was called to VAR. Penalty kick is given. And Jose Luis Morales, yes, still doing it. 38 years old, El Comandante.
Where's
do
the salute?
nothing.
We missed the salute. He gave the salute, do not worry, and he can. Levante 2-0 up against Barcelona after the first 45 minutes of play. Gemma Soler is pitchside for us today. Luis Garcia is with us too. To that handball from Balde, was it a penalty for you?
Okay, I don't know what is happening with the handballs anymore. I don't know what is the interpretation of the referee. Well, yes, I know it was a penalty, but in my opinion, Balde never, and that's the rule, never try to get bigger, never try to use the hand to try to cover more space, or to use his body or his hand to make himself bigger to cover more space. So in the end, he's trying to turn around the ball. The handball is next to his body. It's not that he's open. It's true, it's in the direction of goal, but the body is also in the direction of ball. So I don't know. Maybe the perspective from the referee is better than mine, but it's a very doubtful penalty. So the referee called it. We have to give it the chance to the referee to be called.
On the call, Stuart Robson said he's 50-50 when he saw it. Instantly, you said not for you, Alex.
Well, the one evidence that is going against Alejandro Balde is the fact that he's turning away from the ball. And perhaps you can argue in turning away from the ball, even though his arm is by the side of his body, his wrist and his hand is actually sticking out. And maybe that's how he makes himself bigger. But here's the thing. I just got done criticizing Pau Cubarsí in the way he was defending in the first goal against Ivan Romero, and how he has his arms behind his back. In fact, Stuart Robson in the commentary was also critical of the way that he was defending, because in doing that, you lose the athleticism to be able to get to people, to close down people. But Alejandro Balde had to do that in order not to make himself bigger. So we are putting defenders in a position in which they don't even know what to do with their arms. Cubarsí's got him back here, that's a problem. Alejandro Balde's got him down here, that's a problem too. What do they do with their arm? Cut them off? You can't do that. Honestly, I'm with Luis. I don't see how this is a handball and how this is a penalty kick, especially when the referee is given the opportunity to go and see it. And looking at the same images that we did, he says, yeah, sure, see, penalty. I don't see it.
And even before this, Barcelona were trailing, Luis. What do you think isn't going their way today? We're seeing the scenes of Hansi Flick on the sidelines cutting a very frustrated figure.
Yeah, I imagine it is, because Barcelona is not finding the ways to break the lines of Levante. That is doing a very good job, we have to say it like this. But this is what Barcelona is going to find for the rest of the season. Most of the teams are going to have a low block, a lot of players around, not giving spaces, because they know that players like Lamine Yamal, Rafinha in shorter spaces can be very dangerous. But it's still, they need to pull the ball quicker, they need to start making runs, and if someone makes a run, you try to put the ball. I've seen a few times Rafinha, Ferran Torres, even Rashford making the run, but no one wants to try to put that ball in. But if you don't do it, the defense is going to stay on side. So even if the run is tight, even if that ball doesn't arrive, you need to try to do it and make the doubt on the defense. If not, it's all about trying to move to one side, to move the other side. And for the defense, it's very easy because there is no space. So they need to change. They need to start putting more balls into the box. And I'm sure that Lewandowski is going to have his options into the second half, because he's been missed in the first 45.
There is an issue going on with the positioning of Rafinha. if he happens to be underneath Ferran Torres or Lewandowski or whomever may be playing up top, then he appears there as a surprise. But when he starts there and he ends there, he's no longer a surprise. And so therefore, you run out of space. And Barcelona running out of space in the attack.
Well, there'll be a lot of talk about however it turns out on tonight's ESPN FC, which is coming up right after the final whistle between Levante
and he is taking the place of Marcus Rashford, whose full debut was short-lived. Play for Barcelona, Stuart, there's no room for sentiment.
Absolutely not. Dani Olmo will go and play in the number 10 role. That leaves Rafinha the opportunity to go and play where he favours, out on the right, on the left-hand side, making those diagonal runs to go and support Ferran Torres. Gavi will be more creative in central midfield than Cazado. I said Lewandowski might make an appearance and Koundé might. Join in.
Well, neither are 100% fit. It is very much a marathon, and they're not able to sprint too fast at the moment, given the injuries that they have, Lewandowski and Koundé. That will be the strongest 11, with Koundé at right back and Lewandowski leading the line. They certainly could do with the sharpness of Lewandowski, as they haven't taken the little half chances that have fallen their way, Barcelona.
It's been a frustrating year and a half, isn't it, for Gavi since his injury, and then when he came back he didn't really play at his best.
Levante kick off the second half. They are in dreamland. 2 goals up. Some would say very fortunate to be given the penalty on the brink of half-time. Morales wasn't standing around. His 4th goal in 8 matches against Barcelona.
That should be a yellow card. It is. Morales. Tug of the shirt on Eric Garcia.
We've bigged him up as an excellent player, but he's a bit of a grumpy old man as well at times, Morales. Garcia. It's a poor back flick. Barcelona had to get into the groove very quickly. Manu Sanchez leads the charge. Balde can't get there. Tojan, that looks like onside. Brugge, chance for a third for Levante. Well, he made it a simple save. Maybe he believed he was offside, but certainly didn't look like he was to the untrained eye.
That's when it doesn't work as a defence. When Toljan had a bit of time on the ball and Brugge could come from an offside position, get himself back onside and then make the next run, because he's got time to do that, because the player has that little bit of space on the ball.
You're seeing the names of the Levante players skimmed across your screen at the bottom. Romero there, the number 9, the man who scored the first goal after 15 minutes. This is a team that was assembled, 9 signings in the summer at a total cost of €2.5 million. Lamine Yamal. Eric Garcia on the blind side. Is Ferran Torres chasing him every step of the way. El Guizabal.
That's less than your apartment in Malaga, isn't it?
Beautiful area this if you're looking for a holiday home. Very close to the beach on the Costa Blanca. Played into the near post, headed away, but again this time by Cabello. Lamine Yamal, deep defending from Levante. Uncertain goalkeeping, but Pablo Campos is having a lucky Saturday night.
Well, we won't know, but if the goalkeeper calls for that, then he's got to catch it. Oh, he's just made his run a fraction too early, or the ball wasn't played early enough.
Romero to Morales, has to finish it as if it's going to count. Well, that will be a confidence-building save for Joan Garcia.
Moreno doesn't need to make the run, he's just got to stay in his own half. There was so much space to run into. Just carry on running in his own half until the ball's played. That's poor play from Moreno on that occasion. Here was that effort. It's a cross-come shot. De La Fuente ducked at the last minute. I don't think he did shout the goalkeeper.
Balde. Torres, the only Barcelona player inside the penalty area. Well, the hope for Barcelona supporters is that they replicate last season when they were trailing to Atletico Madrid at half-time by 2 goals and Celta. They came back to win both of those matches. 4-3 against Atletico. There we go. Come back and start it. Inch perfect from Pedri. Now they mean business.
What a strike. What a player he is, Pedri. Don't often see that from him. He's somebody who likes to play little one-twos and get himself into the box, and he bends balls beyond the goalkeeper. This time he just goes for sheer power. And it just starts to dip and bend away from the goalkeeper. Just see the rotation on the ball. He couldn't hit that any better, could he?
Perfection from Pedri.
The goalkeeper wouldn't have seen it until it has passed that last defender. There was 3 or 4 players in his way. They needed it, Barcelona.
Well, Pedri is the one player who can hold his head high in his first half performance. He's not the captain of the team, but he has been leading them by example in midfield. And as I was saying, Barca came back to beat Celta 4-3 and Atletico 4-2 last year when they trailed at the break. You can sense the shock inside the stadium with 5 minutes gone in the second half.
I think there was a couple of Champions League games where they were losing as well and came back.
And Levante are struggling here, not so confident now in defence. They couldn't hold out last week. Is the head of the attacking diamond for Barca tonight.
So far they haven't looked particularly threatening from set plays, Barcelona. Levante have defended them fairly well and counter-attacked off a couple of set plays.
Rafinha flies it to the far post. Barca, 2 quick-fire goals. Ferran Torres. Pure instinct. 2-2. They're rather spoiling the fairy tale.
Oh, just as I was saying, they haven't looked particularly threatening from set plays. This ball travels a long way. Ray is the wrong side of Ferran Torres. Good finish, you have to say, but the ball shouldn't travel that far at that sort of height. Was there a little push by Kabasi? Of course, the VAR will be looking at that as they look at every goal. But this is a good finish, probably off maybe his shin. Doesn't matter, he keeps it down, he gets it on target. And 6 minutes into the second half, we're back on level terms.
Ferran Torres, 2 games played, 2 goals scored for Barca this season. The shark, as they call him at the club. He was lurking. That looks to me like it's onside. Ivan Romero's away. Morales may be slightly ahead of him. Morales takes his time. It required the save from Joan Garcia. Now Manu Sanchez. The thing is with Barcelona, there's shades of NBA basketball, backwards and forwards as they go. Manu Sanchez. Oh, that was an almighty chance for Brugge. Yes, you. Should have made it 3-2.
He's onside when that ball's played. It's a good cutback. He's always reaching for it, but doesn't get enough purchase on it. Look at that. 5 chances, big chances for Levante as well.
Lamine Yamal. Again dances with Sanchez. Finds an inch or 2 in the penalty area. Manu Sanchez. That's the job of babysitting the teenager on a Saturday night.
He's done a good job as well for most of the time, Manu Sanchez.
Gavi. Pedri. Balde. There is Gavi. Yamal toes the ball into the area. It comes ultimately off Dani Olmo. Second week in succession that Olmo's come on as a half-time replacement. Last week it was for Fermin Lopez.
There's where you can see he was onside. This was a big chance. Goalkeeper makes himself big, Garcia.
family duties, welcoming his second son into the world, and Lewandowski on the bench. Koundé also not starting the game tonight. Such a youthful Barcelona team. You forget that Gavi's only 21, Pedri's 22 years of age, Kabasi 18, Balde 21. Ten minutes ago they were joyous, those supporters. Now they're looking rather glum.
I wouldn't say he's looking overly happy, is he? Julian Calero.
Thinly veiled push by De La Fuente on Alex Balde. Gavi. Lamine Yamal.
He's not frightened to get tired, is he, Manu Sanchez?
Pedri. Olmo comes alive. Rafinha. Balde. Olmo hangs it in the air. Oh, it was a neat touch by Eric Garcia, but into the waiting gloves of Pablo Campos.
Yeah, what a good bit of play it was from Dani Olmo. Good run as well from Eric Garcia. I think he's got a chance to go back across the goalkeeper rather than trying to let it glide off his forehead. But didn't quite get it in the right area. No surprise that Levante are preparing one or two subs here. Game is drifting away from them.
Back in May, that clinched promotion for Levante. Well, some of the supporters felt there'd been a push there from Lamine Yamal. Sanchez gets back on his feet. He wasn't complaining. Eric Garcia goes diving in, and the referee saw that as a foul.
Well, he won the ball, but the fact that he jumped in, that's what the referee didn't like.
Well, every supporter in the stadium, I'm sure that includes the Barcelona travellers as well, stand up to appreciate one of the great characters of Spanish football, Jose Luis Morales. Late developer, he's playing semi-pro football until the age of 27, and now at the age of 38, he's put in a good 59-minute shift and tucked away that penalty on the brink of half-time. An injection of energy. Carlos Alvarez will come on and offer a different kind of approach on the wing for Levante.
What Morales showed was intelligence with his movement. Yes, he went early on a couple of occasions, but he realised where the space was, that he just had to hold his run. There were chances to get in. He won the penalty and scored it.
Araujo. Harry Garcia. Lamine Yamal. First time he's shaken off. Sanchez teased the ball in, but again, good recovery defence from Levante. Pedri. Without Rashford on that left-hand side, it's a different shape for Barcelona. They're relying on Balde to make more overlapping runs. Rafinha's still playing in an inverted role, Stuart.
Yeah, he's playing on the left-hand side, but he makes those runs from outside to in. And it does allow Balde to get that little bit further forward, which he does so well. Such a good athlete, real pace. Rafinha's not been entirely happy with one or two of his teammates. He's made a couple of good runs in behind. Ball hasn't been played. This time it has been played, but it's not a good enough one.
Wearing the extreme of his areas, Pablo Campos, the young goalkeeper for Levante, who has been told he's not going to be the #1 this season. They're looking for an experienced new goalkeeper. They've only got a couple of spaces left in the locker room.
Martinez, the captain, has thrown himself into a lot of challenges. He's done well in that central midfield area. He hasn't got on the ball very much. He's done a lot of good defending, block balls being played into the front areas.
Van Torres turns. Well, he's full of confidence now. He's scored, scooped away by Campos to the wrong man. It's Lamine Yamal. Trepidation from the home supporters when he gets on the ball. Lamine fires it in, headed away by De La Fuente. The one plus for Levante, they contained him so far.
To a certain degree. Hasn't quite had his shooting boots on today. Yamal scuffed one or two of those shots when he's come inside on his left foot. I have to say, Manu Sanchez has been brave with his defending. He's tried to get tight. He's not been afraid to go forward into the tackle. Slightly weathered the storm, haven't they, here? Levante, after conceding those 2 early goals in the second half.
Absolutely.
Oh, he's made his run again too early. Just hold the run along the line of the halfway line and then bend it in when the ball's being played. Don't go before.
Gavi. Garcia. Pedri. Barcelona, year on, still trying to find the best way to utilise the undoubted talents of Dani Olmo.
Here's the goal again from distance. Struck beautifully. Yes, we'll get a better view here. Just starting to bend on the goalkeeper. Don't think it takes a deflection. And over the head of the centre forward, Romero. And that's got them back into the game. 2-1.
Levante is his favourite opposition. He's scored 3 goals now in his 4 matches against Levante. Pedri. He's got a personal care routine like Stuart Robson when he's not playing football. He spends his afternoons in the gym, followed by an ice bath, and then he has his own personal hyperbaric chamber, Stuart.
I'm glad you know what I do most afternoons. If I knew what you were talking about, I'd agree with it.
We need it, Pedri. Those that count the steps tell us that on average last season, he was covering 12 kilometres per game, more than any other player in the Barcelona team. Elguizabal, the big number 5, has stationed himself on the toes of the goalkeeper, Joan Garcia. How long is the throw? Longish, little flick on. Cubarsí. There is Elguizabal. Low and hard, and Garcia comes and takes. They've put a lot of faith in this 24-year-old goalkeeper, signed from their neighbours Espanyol. He did have an outstanding season for Espanyol. His first full campaign as a senior player. He's ahead of Chesney and would have been ahead of Ter Stegen as well had Ter Stegen been fit.
It's a big call, as you say, by Barcelona. Just had that one season at Espanyol.
This is Cubarsí. Garcia. Lay off, but again they haven't yet been able to bring Dani Olmo into play. That was a foul from Gavi. He may look angelic, but he certainly knows how to look after himself, Pablo Gavira.
He slightly jumped into the tackle. There's where they thought they might have a foul on Dani Olmo. Don't think it was. Ray, the player that's injured, got through a lot of work, Ray, in that central midfield area.
Oriol Ray is a former Barcelona youth player, the number 20, who's down injured here. He then headed over to Leeds United in the Championship. Didn't make it in England and has worked his way up the leagues through the likes of Conquense and Valladolid, Mirandés.
There's the finish. Actually, they did him a missed-service. It didn't come off his shin. It was a brilliant finish inside of his right boot. Controlled it, side foot, not great marking. Ray should have been on the other side. Chance for everybody to get a drink while Ray stays down injured.
Five past 11 at night, local time. Packed stadium, complete sellout tonight. The homecoming for Levante. Their 17th season in top flight football. It's Victor Garcia, who's going through his limbering routine just in case Oriol Ray can't continue.
Yeah, he's just got a little cut under his lip, side of his chin.
Let's say that Gavi brought that to the referee's attention. And momentarily Levante are down to 10 players as Oriol Ray receives treatment on the touchline. Lamine Yamal. Pedri. Bolde. Rafinha hangs it in the air. Torres! And a simple take. Like picking a cherry off a tree there for Pablo Campos.
Well, it's a lofted cross, the right one. That's the only way he could get it into the box. But it's not a particularly good header. He had to try and put all the power. I think Eric Garcia saying he had a run up on it, and he could have got it at a much lower height.
Ten shots on target for Barcelona. Only 2 of them converted. Lamine Yamal.
Back to 11 players now.
Yep.
Gray just running onto the field. He had to wait a long time. That's what the crowd were getting upset about.
Lamine Yamal. There's a 2-man tag team greeting him. Threads it through and then... Well, Baldi still gets it in. And Ferran Torres getting into the positions, though not getting enough space to convert the chances.
Shears couldn't quite adjust his feet, could he, Yamal? That's why he slipped over. Played the ball in, got the return pass. But Balde did really well just to keep it in play.
Araujo making a nuisance of himself. Flicked on its way by Pablo Campos. Alvarez loses out to Pedri. Pedri, clever ball to Garcia. Now Dani Olmo. Olmo, keeper saw it late but hung on well.
Again, didn't quite get enough power in it. I have to say, I think the water of the pitch has certainly played its part with some of the shooting that's just lacked a bit of power. You can't say that about Gavi's goal. One or two of the others just slipped if they've got their shot away, or it's just been stuck in that, let's say, a puddle of water, but it was really watered heavily before the game.
Yeah, I sense a little gamesmanship from Levante, who were very keen to let it be known that they were laying new turf this week and it's a new pitch. And then when we came to kick-off time tonight, they clearly overwatered it. The excuse is it's new turf, but has slowed down the razor-sharp passing, the tiki-taka of Barcelona. Yamal. You can see the spray coming off the boots as Lamine Yamal gets it in net. It's ricocheted off Pablo Martinez, Barca corner. Levante requiring complete concentration. A nervous hush around the stadium. Headed away by De La Fuente. Time for a double change for Levante. In fact, a triple change. Diego Pampin, number 6, will come on to bring a bit of ballast to midfield.
Losada, another player that's coming onto the pitch.
Mikel Losada, the new signing from Real Betis. Nobody wants to leave the party early. Well, I've decided as they're making changes, the referee will give the players a water break. Ivan Romero is going off. Iker Losada, who signed this week from Betis, only had a couple of training sessions, will come on. Can he make an instant impact? Brugui, the striker, will make way for Carlos Espy, the 6'4" striker.
ser inteligentes, si dan un paso adelante, la vamos a tener para matarle a la espalda. Como lo estamos haciendo, tenemos a Pip ahora como referencia. Pablo, tenemos a Pip como referencia, vete al lado de Kubasi, al lado de Kubasi.
I know your Spanish is very good. You're going to translate all that for me in a moment, I'd hope.
I'll let him finish. I'll paraphrase, Stuart. Nothing silly, keep it tight at the back.
Not overly convinced.
Along comes Carlos Espit, 20 years of age, his La Liga debut. One of the few players born in Levante. Barcelona going to make a double alteration as well. An influx of experience. Christensen taking the place of Araujo in defence. And a man who needs little introduction. The Barcelona number 9, the great Robert Lewandowski. 9 comes on for 3, centre forward for left back. Change of players.
Means that Eric Garcia will just move across. And Christensen will be the central of those 3.
In a nutshell, it's now going to be all.
And it means when crosses come into the box, they've got 2 centre forwards and a player in the number 10 position. Dani Olmo, who can make runs. Rafinha's going to be really wide on that left-hand side. Yamal wide on this right-hand side.
There's Eric Garcia. Appears he's going to go the full 90. It appears maybe that Jules Koundé isn't 100% fit. It's a case of managing the minutes for Hansi Flick, who has an even tighter squad of players than last season. Lewandowski. It's rare that you see Lewandowski and Ferran Torres on the field at the same time, going with a twin strike force, Barcelona. Pedri, Garcia, Rafinha. Excellent reading of the situation by Oriol Rey. Lamine Yamal. Dani Olmo. They're just throwing their body in the way. Gavi. Ferran Torres. Spectacular diving headed clearance. Kubasi. Yamal. Gavi can't get there. Lamine does at the second attempt. Runs into Ray. My goodness, Levante having to dig deep here mentally and physically. Pedri on the outside. Squeezes a corner out of Levante.
Well played, Martinez there. Pedri looked as though he was going to cross it once, then twice. Martinez stayed with him. He's done a very good job in that central midfield, Martinez.
Rafinha. There has been an improvement in the delivery of corners, as Rafinha has been placed on taking duty. Of course, it was Rashford in the first half.
Just mistimed his jump. Ferran Torres. De La Fuente made no attempt to jump, just trying to block his movement.
Make of that what you will, Stuart.
I presume that was after he'd got the
I
equaliser.
assume so, yeah. Our Spanish director has been hanging on to that one for a while, since the Ferran goal in minute 51. In minute 81 now. Gavi. Lamine Yamal flies across the face of goal. Man down, play continues. A collision. Referee has a lot to sort out here and maybe relying on his VAR again. Please, sir, penalty, says Gavi. You may remember in the game last week against Mallorca, one of their defenders went down. The referee continued play. Barcelona scored, and it's been a 7-day talking point.
Well, they run into each other.
Yeah.
Nothing more than that. La Fuentes, who's trying to claim that Lewandowski, well,
the referee's position was perfect. I sense the Barcelona supporters out there screaming that should have gone to the VAR. Maybe it did. And the referee said he stopped it for a head injury. That's why he's dropped the ball. Run a fraction too early there, the substitute. So much space to hit into. And the substitutes have been watching the game, they must have seen that Barcelona squeeze up and squeeze up. If you just hold your run enough, you can get in.
Speedy player, and his best chance is following it himself. It does look like SB was offside.
well, I think the crowd urged him to go after that. They thought he might have been onside. It must have been a really tight one. Look, ooh, very tight. That's why the crowd was saying to him, carry on, chase it. That was touch and go.
Well, had he continued, they would have had to let it evolve. Olmo.
No Balde out there now. Rafinha was slow to support him.
Lewandowski bouncing off defenders. Rafinha. Well, the goalkeeper kept it out. Almost by accident rather than design.
Well, I wonder if it took a deflection in front of him. Good strike from Rafinha. Ended up being a good save from Campos.
They're feeling rattle here. Lamine Yamal takes on all comers, hangs it in the air, but Lewandowski had approached him rather than waiting at the far post.
Oh, I'd like to see that save again.
You shall.
Rafinha hits it well. There's the deflection of the defender. So he did well to get something on it. That was going in. His first shot was going wide. Probably gets a bit lucky, or they get lucky, Levante. Zabal, the player it hit. And he made his body big. And it ends up being a very good save.
Next change. Koundé for Eric Garcia. Jules Koundé, who's tied himself to Barcelona for a further 5 years this week. Not 100% match fit at the moment, hence not in the team from the start for the first 2 games.
What would you call that headgear? A bandana?
I don't have a lot of cause for those myself. I'm sure they'll be available in the club shop very soon. There's Koundé going crashing in. He doesn't stop the man though. Goalkeeper had left a big gap at the near post. I think that was a shot.
Well, you're giving him a bit too much credit, I think. He was trying to cross it and it almost ended up being a shot. That was the sub.
Jeremy Carljan, German under-21 international, has made a big first impression on the supporters of Levante. And Victor Garcia, another one of the summer signings. He came in from El Dense. Has a chance to impress his new crowd.
He's always been a decent player, Torlian, in the Bundesliga. He's been around a bit.
Reminder that Real Madrid are in action on Sunday, heading up to Real Oviedo, the other team promoted from the Segunda with Levante. Great run in here. Excellent control from Olmo. Torres.
Trademark outside of the boot pass we've seen from this man, Yamal. Almost trying to flick it on. Ferran Torres does enough just to give it back to Koundé, who's racing in. Good awareness while he was on the ground, and Koundé hooked it wide. They're hanging on here. Levante. This will be a massive point for them. Segunda champions last year, back in the top flight. What a start to their home matches.
Pedri. Olmo. Koundé. Lamine Yamal. Superb legwork from Pablo Martinez. Gavi fires it in. Hansi Flick down on the touchline, demanding that his team are a little more exquisite with their passing rather than just lumping it into the box. That's not the Barcelona style. Not a single soul was even considering leaving the stadium before the grand finale. Remember, the Morales scored 7 minutes into first half stoppage time. Olmo. Yamal. Koundé. Lamine Yamal went down as soon as he entered the area. The referee indicating the foul was instigated a step outside.
Lovely little 1-2. There it is, around the pressure as he recovers.
Yep, he was clipped.
He certainly was.
And a pump in.
Hasn't been on long, has he? He's got
No.
a yellow card.
Did clip him. About 23,500 supporters collectively holding their breath here. The free kick committee commences. Rafinha has placed the ball on the turf, which suggests that he is going to apply leather to the ball. What can you see? Which hole in the net are you going to aim for? Rafinha, the wall does its job. Kubasi with a half-hearted follow-up. Levante have a player down. I don't think it's the kind of injury that the physio can help with. It's just a question of time and getting your breath back for De La Fuente.
Well, this is the controversy about last week. There's the free kick. It's not hit that firmly. De La Fuente goes down because he knows the referee is going to blow the whistle and stop the next move. That's why he's done it.
Are you suggesting sportsmanship, Stuart Robson?
There's a lot of players or lots of teams that will do that now.
Here's Lamine Yamal. 7 minutes added, minimum of 7. Gavi. Kubasi. A gripping finale on the banks of the River Turia. Ball is hung in the air. Goalkeeper leaves it to his defenders. Nobody gets there, and Barcelona steal what should be the winning goal.
Well, it's a great ball played in. I think it's an own goal. Defenders have to go and try and head it as attackers. Attacking the ball. He's going with the run. Clips the top of his head. Lewandowski was coming round the back. But what a comeback from Barcelona. We said it time and time again. It's happened over the last year or so. They're at their best when they're a couple of goals down.
Second successive week that they have conceded in the 92nd minute. Here goes Lamine Yamal, who would like to get on the score sheet himself. Gavi. Now it's Barcelona who are happy to slow the play down. It's not really in their makeup to take it to the corner flag and play down the clock. The DNA of Barcelona is to seek a fourth goal.
But it did cause them a problem last year, if you remember, in the Champions League. Not so much taking it into the corner, but when they were winning against Inter last couple of minutes or so, they tried to counter-attack, they threw players forward and they got caught themselves. They said they would learn from that.
Well, that is the downside of having such a youthful, exuberant team. But they've had to dig deep, they've had to play to their maximum tonight. There's still a bit of work to be done as well. 3.5 minutes remaining.
Well, if the scoreline does stay the same, you have to give credit to Levante. They've made it a really good game here. The way they've counter-attacked, the way they've tried to defend, with discipline and organisation. They've made it difficult at times for Barcelona. It's been great entertainment. Have we still got more to come?
There's always something special about these late Saturday night games in La Liga. It is unique. 11:30 at night. They're not going to sleep, are they, these Levante supporters? A goal scored after 15 minutes, 2-0 up on the brink of half-time. And then 2 goals for Barcelona in the space of 2 minutes changes maybe the course of history. But who knows? We may have another twist in this tale. They're committing players forward, Levante. Koundé. Many teams now would just play keep ball. The noise you can hear is from the Barcelona supporters congregated in the far left-hand corner of this compact stadium.
Levante have got to come out and try and win the ball back here.
History repeating itself. Barcelona's last visit here was a tight affair. Pedri scored that day, and Barcelona scored in the 92nd minute through Luc de Jong. Became a bit of a cult figure in his short time in Catalonia. There's Christensen taking no risks, lumping it out of play. 90 seconds remaining. Koundé. Olmo. Rafinha
playing at left back at the moment. Now they've got the winning goal, or what could prove to be the winning goal. He can play at left back. Balde off the pitch. Ferran Torres has gone to wide left.
Pedri. Five-star performance from Pedri in midfield. Kubasi. Ole is now from the Barca supporters on the brink of making it a 100% start to the season. Hansi Flick wasn't happy last week when they won 3-0. What's the mood going to be like of the German tonight when they've taken it right to the wire?
He'll be concerned about one or two things in the first half, how easily it was for Levante to break them down, to get in behind them. But we've seen that over the course of the last year. That doesn't seem to worry him. But they've shown great determination again, ability to break teams down, to create chances. And when it's been needed, their top players have come to the fore.
The referee said 7 minutes would be added on. We're now beyond the promised stoppage time. The last roll of the dice for Levante. A cruel induction on their return to La Liga. Losing in stoppage time last week and conceding almost in the same second this week against Barcelona. It's never quite comfortable for Barca supporters with this cavalier style of football. But a great watch. They always give the opposition opportunities. 2 chances taken by Levante, but ultimately Barcelona outscoring them. He puffs out his cheeks, Lamine Yamal. But again, it was a moment of brilliance from him, forcing.
Workaholic, but it's his quality on the ball that made him stand out. Yes, Yamal had 1 or 2 good moments, so did Rafinha, but Pedri once again was outstanding. And he got Barcelona back into the game with that strike. But what a team they are. 2-0 down, struggling. There was a lot of times when Levante got in behind them, but they have quality going forward. Brilliant stuff.
Young, full of energy, cavalier, and never giving up the chase and always giving the opposition a chance. 2-0 down to 3-0 success for Barcelona. 100% record. 3-2 the final score.